What's going on, everybody? It's Alondra Marie here on another episode of Out of the Trance, Season 2, and I have the one and only Jordan Miller.
Settle down,
I think
everybody. Settle down. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna add the little sound effects to this since I
Yeah.
don't have the little board. See, these are things I'm gonna have to do to upgrade
Nah, this is
my
dope.
podcast.
You got an
This
amazing
is a cool
studio,
setup,
for real.
and I can do the little audio effects after,
Yup.
But it would have been cool to be like,
Bam, bam, bam,
what did you do for
bam.
mine? You hit.
I had 1,000 people in the studio screaming
See, that sounds
at
so
the humble
cool.
studio.
The
Yeah.
So his studio, I called it humble, but it was more so because it was, a small space, and I don't know why in your
It's
videos,
cute.
in your videos, it seems like you're in like a big production studio.
Isn't everything perspective?
It really is, and so that's
Wow.
why I said that. But
Yeah.
this is definitely humble. We're in my house, my spare room, making it work. But
Out of the trance.
yes, out of the trend. So if you're new here to my podcast, this podcast is about sharing stories that can help you transcend into better versions of yourself. And I thought, who better than Jordan here, who runs Generation Y, to join me actually on my very first episode for the season with my guest. So it's a first episode with a guest, but not my first episode of the season.
Yeah.
So tell me about Generation Y. I actually didn't know y'all started in 2017.
2017.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
looked it up. I looked up your website and I was like, oh, y'all been around since like before the pandemic.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah,
So-
we've been doing this thing, man.
So tell
For
me,
real.
what started your organization?
So 2017, we started doing Generation
Wait, pause.
Y.
Is that
yeah,
is that a tattoo from your thing?
that is, yeah.
That's
yeah.
so cute. I
Thank
love
you,
that.
thank you.
Okay,
I
sorry.
got it in we got it. So we were in Fresno, California, like 4 years ago. And so this is a crazy story. So are we cool with crazy stories?
Yeah, crazy stories
Am I
are
on a time
welcome.
crunch?
No,
Okay,
time crunch,
good,
you're
good, good. But we were in Fresno, California, and so we were driving around because we had break between our shows and this other show that we were about to go to. So we went to Fresno, driving around, right? Don't know the town.
Okay.
Crazy. It's at nighttime. It's getting wild. We don't know that though. So we pull up.
Wait,
and,
getting wild as in
like you can feel it, like you know what I'm saying. Like it's starting to change up, and
Okay.
people acting different. You know what I'm saying. We're all packed in this van, and then everybody in the van, we're all like looking around, like interesting. We don't know where we're at. You know what I'm saying. We just wanted to cruise around, drive around, explore, right? And so we drive past this one tattoo shop, and on the front of the door it says it says $20 Tuesdays. And we're like, this could be cool, or this could
Or
be
could
the
be really
worst
bad.
thing that we've ever experienced, right? So we go in there, and it's terrible. But everybody on the team, they're a little younger than I am, and they're like, let's do it. And then I'm like, all right, man, you do whatever you want to do. Go get your disease from this, needles and stuff. And as they're going to get this, their tattoos and stuff, I'm going around asking these tattoo artists like how long they've been doing it and all that kind of stuff, and they're like, yeah, I just started like 6 months ago, and just got my license about 2
That's why
weeks
it's
ago.
$20.
Bro, I was like,
So,
it was terrible.
so is that where you got that?
No,
Oh, my bad.
no, not at all. I'm overthinker, so I'm like, I try to make the better decisions. So, a couple days later, I find like a spot in the city and stuff. But anyways, yeah. But it was a good time. There's a couple people who got lip tats. Oh, this is gross.
Hold on, a lip
But
tattoo.
it
Like,
was
what did
lit.
they get on the lip? Like inside the lip?
It was yeah. It was like on the lip right here. Some people got that, and then some people got on their arms. It was just a weird experience.
Wait, what were you doing over there
Like I said, we were just exploring, driving around.
with your Generation Y? people?
Generation Y, yeah. We were in Fresno, so we did like 3 or 4 different schools, and then we did community events and all that kind of stuff. So, anyways, but yeah, that's that story. Yeah,
So you did get that tattoo there
not in that building, no, but in Fresno, yes.
in Fresno.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay. And this was
yeah.
already when you had already established your organization.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like it wasn't like a symbol that you had already been like peeping.
no.
Who
no,
designed
no.
that? Did you come
I
up
did.
with that?
I did. Yeah, yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like that a lot. So
Ye-
I see the G.
Yeah. So there's a G, and then there's a 7 in it for the 17 whenever we started, and then everything's elevated. So it's low key like you're out of the trance trying to elevate
Ah,
to the transcend. Yeah,
okay, I like that now.
everything's moving up, you
This
know.
doesn't have
So
it right.
no,
Oh.
it might
So
maybe
I'm
on the back.
wearing, y'all can't
Yeah,
see, but I'm wearing one of the shirts from his organization, and I swear to God, I think the tag in the back, like I've washed it so much that
yeah,
it's starting to barely hang in there. And
yeah.
I just got it earlier this summer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm just obsessed
It's
with
a
the
quality
color.
tee, man. I
It
love
is.
the fit of it. It's very heavy. But yeah, the quality of it's dope.
And
So,
it's comfy and it sits right. Like
mm.
I cannot complain. So
And then the back of his mental health matters.
yes, I would show
Everything,
y'all, but
yeah,
I'm not getting up.
yeah.
But
That's good.
maybe I'll like clip it after this.
Go to the link.
Go to the
Yeah,
link. Yeah, I'm gonna
yeah.
put the link in the video. I'm putting like your social medias and everything in
Oh,
there.
for
So
real.
yeah, that's why
Let's
I had you.
go.
That's why I had you fill out the little form
Yeah,
because I don't know, everything. So I
yeah,
need
yeah.
some more info.
That's
So
dope.
what are some things that you've done with your organization that have been like transformational for you
Wait, so
as
you
a
already
person?
asked me one question. I didn't answer that one. I answered the tattoo thing. Let me start where
Oh,
we
that's
started.
right.
Full
Thank
circle.
you.
So whenever we first started was 2017. 2017, the whole thing, Generation Y, just in general, is an organization that goes into schools talking about mental health, talk about anti-bullying, suicide prevention, and we do it through the creative arts. So we have rappers, dancers, spoken word artists, motivational speakers, live DJ. We do a whole setup like with our speakers, subs, and then our projectors, projector screens, all the things. So we want to create an experience for students to be able to have walls being broken down, because like I feel like as a kid we go through so much, whether it's trauma or just anything day to day and all that kind of thing, but students are going through so much all the time that like they spend like 90% of their school life at school, you know what I'm saying? And then whenever they come home, it's like they either go to normal environment, bad environment, or like still dealing with bullying whenever they get out of school and everything like that. So it's like we wanted to create a space that was safe and that felt just like relaxing for these students, because everybody's talking about mental health. And even whenever we started 2017, we made the decision to actually make it like an organization in 2017, because Oklahoma went from 32nd to the third leading state in the nation for teen suicide.
I heard you say that on the other podcast you were just
Yeah,
in. I was
yeah.
like, what?
Yeah. So
That's
like
kind of crazy. Did they find what the reason for that was?
so I mean like in 2015, everything like social media for some reason I feel like, I mean obviously as well as with the police brutality and everything, but like social media for some reason it seemed like it ramped up during 2015, 2017, all that kind of thing. And so it was like everything was on the climb, from '09, but like it somehow like peaked, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like social media definitely has a part to play in it for sure. But for the teens, I feel like there's so much something deeper than just social media. You know what I'm saying? Because like there's so many things kids are going through, and Oklahoma is like top 5 as well as top 5 in ACE statistics. So like in the nation, like ACE scores is like adverse child trauma. Um, you, Jamie, can you look that up on the computer? Right. But like the acronym is
I don't
for
have an assistant. I'm so sorry.
no, you're good. But like yeah, the ACE scores is like adverse child trauma test. So it's like 1 through 10 question, like they'll ask you questions, you got to rate it 1 through 10, like how much you've seen or been through trauma wise, right? And Oklahoma, for everybody that has taken this test, Oklahoma rates like top 5, top 3, something like that, in the nation for people that have gone through trauma or traumatic
Wow.
situations. And so, and then obviously Oklahoma is like number 1 in women incarcerations. So it's like,
What? I did
yeah,
not know that.
yeah.
I need to do my research on Oklahoma. I just moved here, so
It's
I
not.
need, I need to study.
I don't want to say these statistics and you think it's bad. No, we
No,
lit
no,
up in
that's
here.
not what I mean. I mean, like, I
Yeah.
feel like I need to be more educated on where, like, I'm living and be
Right,
more
right, right.
aware of the environment I'm in. Because
Yeah.
for all I see from the outside in, I'm thinking it seems fine.
No, it's
But
dope.
you share
for
these
sure.
things with me, and I'm like, oh wow, like I did not know that. Obviously, I didn't know the things you were saying about 2017 here in
Yeah.
Oklahoma. So
Yeah, for sure. And so like whenever we, for one, my personal story and everything. I've dealt with suicide. Attempted twice whenever I was a freshman in college, and then I lost a couple of people in my life to suicide as well. And so this whole topic and everything like hits home, really close. And so whenever that statistic came out in 2017, we were like, yeah, let's do something about it. And so in that same podcast you were talking about, like I was talking about the needs. So like we knew where we wanted to go, which was where the teens were. And so we knew the where, and how we wanted to do it was through the creative arts. So we knew the where and the how, those are the needs. And then we, knew the why. And so the why was the purpose. Like that's why we called the Generation Y, WHY. It's all about purpose, and that's the foundation for the future for anybody. Once you are able to understand what your potential is, and then you tap into that potential, like your purpose is a joyful life. You know what I'm saying? And if we can pursue that, whatever, gets us joyful, what gets us motivated, what gets us active, all that kind of thing, is like that's our purpose. And so that's what we've been able to go into the schools. So we've been able to impact, as of this today, we've been able to impact 130,000 students live over the past 6 years.
130,000.
Yeah, yeah,
That
over
is
the
a lot
past
of
six
kids.
years, and so yeah.
Wow, congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
Secondly, I feel like now I have so many questions because you're saying so many good things. So,
Yeah.
do you get feed? Okay, so first of all, my first question with your organization, these artists and DJs and stuff like that, are these the students that do these things, or are you talking about like, are you bringing in external people to do these, events for the kids?
Yeah, so these were actually my friends. So like, you know what I'm
Oh wow,
saying?
that's really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, so all my friends, growing up, especially for the past 10 years. So I got into the music scene and stuff like that about 10-ish years ago. So I was traveling, doing my own music and DJing weddings and doing all that kind of stuff. And so that plugged me in to a lot of amazing people here in the city. And so then I was like, grabbing people and like, yo, this is a huge need. Y'all want to travel, have a good time? And then they're like, yo, that's dope. So let's do it. So literally all of them were my friends. And so just traveling around and impacting people with your friends is probably the most rewarding thing, in the world. Cause like you have funny stories, you have like, good memories and all that kind of stuff. And then also it's like you realize that you're doing it for a bigger purpose. And then not only are you impacting, 130,000 students, but it's like you're impacting the people that are closest to you. You know what I'm saying? Because you see them grow from, I'm not just an artist anymore. I have a story to tell. I've got something that I can contribute. It's like you're not just what you bring to the table. You are the seat. You know what I'm saying? And so it makes the people on the team's purpose grow even more too. So yeah, this is artists as well, and then we so many of our artists as well, like they dance with other dance companies, but then also majority of like the O City dance crew for like the Thunder, they're on Gen Y too. So
The Thunder people,
mhm.
the dancers.
Yeah, yeah.
So I finally went to a Cassie Thunder game and I saw them dancing. They look pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, they're cool.
Okay.
They're cool.
So you're cool. You know them too, and they jump in on this on your with your organization and doing things for the kids. So
Yep.
do you ever get feedback from your kids, like let's say years down the line or immediately? And if
Mhm.
so, like what does the feedback typically look like?
All the time. Yeah, we get feedback all the time. So like after we get done with an assembly, usually we have like 100 and what 50 to 100 students, come to the stage. They want to either buy the merch or they want to, tell you their story or just take pictures and all that kind of stuff. So it's overwhelming if like, it's your first time and you're like, getting bum rushed and stuff. But so it's dope. And then also, our direct messages as well. Like we post content, that is not only recaps of schools that we've been to, but motivational stuff, skits, dances, spoken words, all that kind of thing. So it's like they can tune into, Generation Y's either YouTube or social media in general, and they get, motivated and stay motivated, stay plugged in, and all that kind of stuff. And so we want them, if they are 95% at school, but 100% of the time they want to be on social media. We want the first thing that they see is something that they wake up to that's positive or motivating, instead of something that's negative or drama or whatever. So but yeah, so what was your question? So sorry. But yeah, oh no, we do get
The
feedback. Yes,
feedback.
feedback is dope. And so there's so many or stories that I could tell, but um
What has been like maybe one very memorable feedback you've received from somebody that like further confirmed that you're going down the right path and doing the right thing with your organization?
we got a lot. So I've got one that happened just recently, actually. So I'm gonna say that one first. But we were at this like sounds bougie, but it was we were at this country club doing my board meeting with my people, right? And
That
so
is bougie.
that did sound, but that wasn't me because I'm not no country club
That is
person.
that is bougie, but it's okay.
But
I'm gonna let you have it.
no. But like there's this person that was coming to help in, or there's this girl that's coming in to like help us with the projection computer stuff that they were because I was trying to get stuff put on the screen. So anyway, but she came in, she was like, "Wait, what? Aren't you Generation Y?" I was like, "Yeah." And then she was like, "Oh my gosh, you came to my school 4 years ago and really impacted my life. And all of my friends, still talk about it to this day." And I was like, "Wait a
Wow.
second, what? 4 years ago?" And it was like it was a dope moment because like that was first. So it's a crazy story of the past 2 years with the organization, but I recently, within the past year and a half, created a board. And so like being legit and everything like that, we've been legit doing our stuff, but on the business side of everything, building all that out. So I was sitting there with the board, and then as she was coming in as like a freshman in college, and she was like recognizing that she wanted to take pictures, she wanted to Snapchat it all and all that kind of stuff. And then for the board to see that, they're like, "Oh dang, like you actually been doing this thing." And I'm like, that's what I think, that the older people, I say older people, but you
I
know
know
what
what
I'm
you mean.
saying.
Yeah.
The people that are like more established, whenever I'm telling them, what we do, they're like, "Oh, these kids are just going on stage, having a good time, dancing around." But it's like, yo, we're making an impact on students. We're making a change in somebody's life. Like this could legit be a pivotal moment for somebody if we weren't here. You know what I'm saying? Because like we were up in Michigan about 4 or 5 years ago, and there's these students that'll come up to you and hand you like a physical note, which usually is like a suicide letter, and they're like, because you
Wow, like a
were,
real
yeah,
like the
yeah,
real
mm-hmm.
wow.
Yeah. So there's this one girl that she came up to us after an assembly, and she was crying, and this other girl that was her friend was trying to like help her talk and all that kind of stuff. And anyways, this girl, she was like, because you were here today, I'll be here tomorrow, and then handed over her letter that she was planning on ending it that day. And so like that type of stuff is like it legit is no more about just having a good time. It's not just about, hey, I want to, have a good time making music or dance around and all that kind of stuff. It's like you're actually like breaking down barriers, you're breaking down walls, you're breaking down traumatic things that students have gone through, and it's like that's what you're there for. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, it's dope. So
That's very, very special. My final question about your organization: why did you title it Generation Y?
Generation Y. So with that statistic that I was talking about earlier, it seemed like for Oklahoma to go, to third in the nation for teen suicide, I was thinking, I believe in God, so like I was praying about it, and I was like trying to figure out what direction to go, and then there's just something that laid on my heart, that was like, people are dealing with a sense of purpose. Like they want something to live for. They want something to be a part of. They want something to, um, yeah. So like that's what it was. At the end of the day, it was like everybody, is striving for a purpose and a purpose-filled life and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of motivational speak. I used to hate motivational speakers before I even started
Why?
it because I was like, this is like hella corny. You know what I'm saying?
But
Like,
sometimes somebody's gonna resonate with it. I
right,
I
for
think that
sure.
all the time about my podcast or anybody else's podcast. I'm like,
Yeah.
why are we talking about this?
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
there's always somebody that's like, oh,
Mm,
I relate to that or I resonate with that. And then you're like,
right.
oh, okay, I guess I should keep going. And I guess it's
Yep.
not that corny.
Yeah.
And maybe it might not resonate with somebody. But so, anyways,
Yeah.
continue.
No,
Continue.
yeah, that's the thing about that's what I've been learning over these years about just content in general. Is like it doesn't even matter. Like even I mean, from music to podcasts to motivational speakers, is like you don't know what people are going through that day. And then even with my friends that that I was really impacted by, because I attempted twice, and then a couple years later, I find out that one of my friends ended up passing away from suicide, and it hit me. That one for some reason hit me the hardest because he messaged me on Facebook like 3 weeks before that, um, and I never messaged him back. And so, sitting there, finding out about the news, but then also, realizing that I could have said something, um, and that could have changed the direction of his life. Then it put a not only a burden, but like a sense of urgency to it doesn't matter who I'm around or I'm investing in or whatever. Everybody's talking about investing time. Like, don't waste your time. Like, yes, I get that. That's a boundary that you need to have. But then also, it's like there's people around you that really you need to take the time and be like, we're here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Let's be
Yes.
present. Let's be
Yes.
like, let's be in the moment, and let's just, this life people like take way too serious. And so, if you can be that person that breaks down that fourth wall with them, then it's like, you know, um, it could literally change the trajectory of somebody's life. So,
It really
yeah.
can. So, what would you say? And you don't have to answer this question, but what would you say helped you like pull yourself out of those ideations back when you were feeling that way?
Finding my purpose, and so, and not second guessing myself anymore because, growing up as a kid, like I mean, you know, obviously like you're going through life trying to figure out what you fit into and like all that kind of stuff, and I was the kid that like I was cool with everybody, so it's like I didn't know where I fit in, and maybe I didn't fit in at the same time while I fit into everybody, if that makes sense. And so whenever I graduated, I was like, I'm an only child, so legit when everybody left, for their colleges and doing big league schools and awesome stuff, and I was like, I'm going to community college, rocking it. And so,
Which is not a bad option
it's
at
not,
all. I don't
it's
understand why
not
people made it. Now looking back, I
right,
wish that I considered that.
bro. Save that money, go to the
Literally
community
save the
college,
money.
yeah. So yeah, I went there, but like all of my friends left, and so like I legit felt it's crazy how like you can feel alone whenever you still have like a lot of people around you, um but is really like is breaking out of your it's kind of like for me, I'm not gonna say this for everybody, but like for me, like it's like an egocentric like mind state that's like, oh, everybody's left, I'm all alone, but it's really like you're shutting out everybody that's around you. And so like me, if I was talking to my younger self, I would like, yo, look at everybody that is here though. You're forgetting, and what it is like we start to like change our mindset of like um people that we think are important in our life. Like we put more emphasis on those people instead of the people that are actually supporting. So just like even whenever it comes to like fans, like she's an amazing artist, so she probably I mean she does
Thank you,
have
thank you.
fans. Shout out to the fans, everybody.
No, literally.
But like think about this. If you just focus on the people that you you mess with that are like just artists. Let's say you're making music just to please the artist friends. You know what I'm saying? But you're forgetting about
The
the
fans.
90% of your people that like actually support you, right? And so it's like that's kind of the mindset that I think that I was having is like I wanted the people that I thought in my mind meant a lot to me or that I idolized or whatever in my mind. And then I forgot about the people that are actually around me, that actually care about me, that were closest to me, all that kind of stuff, and that will actually support me and, all that kind of thing. And so, anyway, that was a long story around the alone feel. But I think that, I forgot the question again
How
that
did
you
you how
said.
did you reel
How
yourself
did I
out of
get back?
that?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So whenever I found purpose in the fact that I actually just care about people. And whenever I found that that was an actual thing, like, you don't have to have a degree to care about people. You don't have to have some type of education about, how to empower people, how to, bring people out of a dark place, or how to use your story to be able to influence somebody else or whatever. That is how I was able to be like, what I bring to the table is actually meaningful. It's not that, like, I felt like I was misunderstood in a way. So, in that sense, it made me feel even more isolated. And so,
Wow.
if you are like people out there that are either watching or whatever, like, if you feel like you're starting to isolate yourself, find the people around you that actually like love you, that connect with you, that want to see good for you, see good for your life, and all that. Like, you got them around you. You just got to be more intentional about looking for them. Be intentional about that. You know what I'm saying? Because people are out here that actually care about you. So that's
Yes.
how I was. That's how I was, able to bring it out. Is that getting out of that isolation and realizing that me showing up is actually not like that sounds very ego, but me showing up and just waking up the next day, being grateful, and that's what I was talking about in one of the podcasts that I was in not too long ago. But like, gratitude is the biggest superpower that you could have, because if you're grateful for everything, then you realize that you have everything you need, right?
Literally.
And so yeah, so it's like even down to the smallest things, like you're waking up, you're doing some amazing things. You got a passion for music, you got an ear for this, you can draw this, you can, whatever, talk to anybody, like talk. People will be having like a conversation that's genuine and like long lasting conversation. People don't realize that that's a talent,
Yeah. That is being able to hold a conversation with somebody
right?
and entertain and entertain and entertain. I feel like that's definitely a talent.
Yes.
Okay.
Why? Because, like, you know what I'm saying? People doing these podcasts and stuff like this.
Yeah.
Shout out to Out of the Trance.
Out of the trend.
Yeah. But like, people who are doing stuff like this is like, people are bringing back that intentional conversation, or like that late night talk show. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of stuff
Yes.
that people just enjoy, because people are like, how do they have that conversation that long? Like,
So naturally and
right.
smooth. But yeah, I'm thankful that you were able to reel yourself out of that, because we wouldn't have met, you wouldn't have had the organization that you
Thank
have,
you.
and impacted the people that you have impacted. When I was living in Japan, you were talking about feeling lonely. When I was living
Yeah.
in Japan, I definitely hit a point where I too was having suicidal ideations. And at the time,
Mm.
when you're in the military, that's like that can definitely be job threatening. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
they can deem you unfit, and now so it discourages people from having the conversation and
Mm.
bringing it up. So it gets lonely, because
Yeah.
then you step out of your home and now you're pretending like everything's cool, but
Yeah.
nobody knows exactly what you're going through. So you could have all
Mm.
the friends that you can have. You can have people love you as much as they love you, but if you're not being honest about what's going on, then you're gonna
That's
feel
real.
very lonely.
Yeah.
So I definitely felt like that for very long, but I think it's the same thing you said, just being grateful every day to be alive and to experience life, the beautiful things about life.
Mm.
Definitely were motivating enough to get out of that rut. And then
Mm.
also, in that same sense, around the same time, I started doing something similar to what you are doing right
Yeah.
now, which was hosting classes for emotional intelligence for the military
Yeah.
at the base that I was living at. And when I would sit down with it was a social worker that created the course,
Mm.
obviously with his like college experience and clinical experiences, and
Mm.
sitting down with him, listening to the stories he was telling me, listening to how many people, like basically my experience wasn't that unique. The
Mm-hmm.
things that I was going through, somebody else was going through it.
Yeah.
And so was I really alone
Mm.
while I was going through the things I was going through,
Yeah.
and was I really feeling something that nobody could understand,
Mm.
and so it would turn out that there's a lot of people experiencing the same exact things that I was
Yeah.
going through. And so that motivated me to host the classes with him and
That's dope.
educate people and get people to just sounds corny, but transcend our closed-mindedness in the
Yeah.
military, because in the military people at the time refused to be an emotional intelligent leader
Yeah.
and things like that. So that's what helped me get out of that rut at the
Out of the
time.
trance.
Yeah. And At the same time, that's also when I created the podcast because my podcast came out
Wow.
in 2019.
Wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, so everything, so it's just the same
She
concept.
been doing this.
Yeah, I just don't
Yeah.
post.
Let's go. Let's go.
So, but yeah, that's wonderful, and I'm just grateful that you did what you did, and I admire
Thank
what
you.
you're doing. I
Appreciate
love
it.
the brand, so I'm
Thank
thankful that
you.
you were able to come and join. And we had a what's it called a brand clash or no, what would you call it? Like you came onto my brand and I came to your
Like
brand,
a swap,
like a
collab.
Yeah, I'm overcomplicating this, but yeah.
We just
So
say collab at the same time, so that's how
yeah,
you know it's real.
it is real. So, what are your goals with your
Yeah.
brand as a whole, Generation Y?
Mm.
What are your big picture things? Where are
Yeah.
you headed with this?
So we've been doing travel team for the past 6 years, and recently, which is actually starting this semester, actually a week ago, we actually started a class in a school, and so it's actually here in the city, and uh, it's super dope. So I'm excited because like whenever you sit down and kind of like write out like your 3, 5, 10 year goals, then you kind of plan it from there and see how it goes. But we were hitting our 5 year goals in our 3 year, and now we're hitting our 10 year goals in our 6 year, and so it's cool, man. And what the next goal is having these classes like in schools all over the nation. So it's like
So
we
make it
want to
part of
be
like an actual education system curriculum.
Yep,
Yep. Okay. I
yep.
saw that on your website. It said
Which we should
curriculum.
definitely help. You should be a part of it.
I would love to. Just let me know. I'll put in some.
Now it's on
2 cents.
camera, so now we have accountability.
And now we have accountability.
Yeah.
You said some things in your podcast that I still need to stick with. You was about my music, so accountability all over the place. It's in the internet now, so
It's in the internet.
that's wonderful. And I would love to be. I would love to be a part of that.
Yeah, so we're doing classes, we're doing curriculum and an internship. We've been doing like a loose internship for the past 3 years, and that's been dope. So like we'll have students that either graduated or are in homeschool, and they need college credit, or they need volunteer hours, or anything like that. So either they will come to events, or they will be a part of some of the outreach events that we do as well. There's one outreach that we did. We did a fill the bus not too long ago. So we took a physical bus, and we had a bunch of businesses all over the city. And
in the bus.
Huh?
You put all the businesses in the bus?
Hold on.
Oh, my bad.
Sorry. No, you're good. You're good.
I got excited
You're
for a
good.
second.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what do you mean?
That would have been dope. We should do that. Just put a bunch of no. So like we had a bunch of businesses build like their own bus, and like out of cardboard, and they would just fill it with school supplies.
Okay.
And so, but we took all of those and then actually filled a physical school bus.
With the school supplies.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope.
And we filled the whole thing. So that was cool.
That's so crazy. I want to come participate on some of these things.
You need to. Yes.
Like, I've been wanting to volunteer for a hot minute. I want to
Every
make
Tuesday
sure.
at 11, we're at John Marshall.
Doing what?
Our class.
Where's John Marshall at?
It's on
like
west side.
northwest?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Hefner. Like by Lake Hefner.
Okay, yeah. Okay. I need to come check it out because
it'll be a drive for you since you live out here in the.
I don't care. I'm from
you
Texas.
Drive, bro.
I'm from Texas though. I feel like everything in Texas is spread out.
True.
So like to me, this is nothing. I have friends that are like, oh, but you have to drive by Edmond, or oh my God, you live all the way in Midwest City.
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah. They're like, that's too far. I'm like, that's dramatic.
That's true.
That's so dramatic.
You're right. You're used to some crazy traffic too, huh?
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
Yeah.
I grew up in San Antonio, so.
Oh yeah.
Have
definitely.
you driven there?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a good 8-hour drive from here. Jeez.
Hell no.
Louise.
Let me
Yeah.
look at my cards.
You're good.
Okay.
But yeah, that's our next goal. So.
Well, that's a good goal. That's
Thank
a big
you.
goal. I did see the curriculum thing on your website. I just didn't know what it meant, so I meant to ask about that. But that would be tough. And I would have, if I was a child, I would have.
Tough in a good way.
Yeah, like tough, like in a fire way.
Yeah.
If I was a kid, I would have loved to be able to be a part of that. I had band in high school, so I feel like I was part of an
You
organization.
said you played trumpet? Or
the French horn.
French horn. I knew it was a brass.
But I have played the trumpet before for the military.
Okay.
So I
see you have a guitar over here too. So
I do. I don't know how to play that good, but I have them. This one I've had it since I was 5 years old.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So it's more like a nostalgia thing.
So you've been playing since you were 5?
Yeah, I was been playing instruments since I was 5.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been a
Okay.
band nerd in my heart.
Wow.
I've never been a natural born singer, but definitely a musician. 100%.
You are a full entertainer, dude.
I really am.
Wow, that's incredible.
I don't like how to
And
explain
you
this.
fix things around the house.
I do. I am a Bob the Builder woman.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just say that.
Say it like you want. Get out of the trance,
No,
man.
they said that I'm a Bob the Builder lesbian apparently. So
You do it all.
well, I
You
mean my
literally-
friends.
You do it all.
I do it all.
Wow.
I have done some cool things around the house before. I was like, I did that. But one time I was mounting my TV and I almost dropped it, and I was like, I might need a man in here to
I
help me
feel
out,
like you. I've never. I don't get the vibe that you've ever been mad. Have you ever gotten mad?
Yeah, I
like
have.
you yell?
Yeah. But I mean,
real?
yeah, I was married once upon a time.
For real? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Me too.
See, look, I was married.
Got you. Yeah.
I know you're married. Y'all are so beautiful. And
Yeah.
is that y'all's kid?
No.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
so
Well,
I was
he's
married
cute
before.
too.
Yeah.
Well, he's adorable too.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
taller than me.
He is not. I'm pretty sure I've seen that.
He said you pretty sure, like you have to second guess it.
I was.
He
I mean,
actually might be. No,
I creeped on your Instagram page a long time
that's
ago.
hilarious. Yeah,
But
he's
y'all are a
dope.
cute family.
Thank you.
But
Thank
yeah,
you.
I'm divorced, so
Yeah.
I'm no longer
Same.
married.
Yeah.
What? Okay,
That's
we
what
can
I
just
was
circle
saying.
back.
Yeah.
We could just circle back to this later.
You're good.
But you're married.
I am now. Yeah, a
Okay.
year in October.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so
okay,
much.
so you were married.
She's fine as hell.
She's beautiful. I don't want to be disrespectful.
No, so you can say it too, cause I agree.
Yeah, she's fine as hell.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh,
That's
man.
hilarious.
What's her name?
Amanda.
Amanda.
Yeah.
Amanda, hi, if you're watching this.
Yeah. If hope you
When?
better be.
So, anyways. Okay, so we've talked a lot about connecting with
These are
people.
dope cards.
I know,
I was
right?
looking at the
No,
thing.
because you're gonna cheat. You
No,
gotta look
I
at
was
the
looking at you.
topics.
You got QR code and
I
everything.
do. And at the end of this, I'm gonna give you a card for as a thank you, and
Wow.
you're gonna be able to scan it.
Now you're challenging me to
I
step it
am.
up,
You did-
man.
yeah.
That's wild.
Mhm.
I like that.
Yeah, I had to come through with the business. It's not a business officially, but you know.
It will be.
Oh yeah, we're still good on time. So,
Oh, you
okay,
trying to cut
where
me
we
off?
at?
That's fine.
No, I'm not. So, okay. So since you connect a lot with people and you talk to people all the time, I feel like being empathetic has to be one of your strongest suits, to be able to successfully do this with people. So when did you become like an empathetic listener? And if you weren't naturally one, how did you become one? And have you been successful at it?
That's deep.
Sincerely.
That's
Do
deep.
you feel like you've actually been a good empathetic listener?
That's deep. Empathetic listener. Yeah. So I would say there's like two parts to that question, right? So like the
There's
first
like
part
three,
was
but it's
oh,
like
wow,
I'm just
3.
letting you
Yikes.
like ramble on the topic.
Yeah. An empathetic listener. I would say I've gotten better at the art of listening, but I've always been an empathetic person since I was a kid, man. I mean, I just love and care about people, you know. I remember this one time. This is really random, but I was like 8 or something like that, and me and my family, they were watching like some NCIS stuff on TV or whatever, and you said okay. Oh, that's funny. But we were watching the show, and then there was something that happened on the TV where this lady, that was like the maid of the house, and the milkman or something. This sounds super random, but like the milkman of the show like came in and took advantage of her. And I remember in that moment, like I got so pissed. And I started bawling, like I was crying, and then I ran to my room.
Wait, how old were you?
I was like 8.
Okay.
It's like 6 or 8 or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, for
Why am I
one,
feeling
why
this?
my parents let me watch this? You know what I'm saying? For one. But then also it was like, it's just an overwhelming feeling of like, why do people go through the things they go through? And then like, throughout my years, like through, high school, through, growing up, just I've lost a lot of friends. I've lost a lot of family members. And so going through that loss, and like I was saying, I'm an only child too. It's like, so you initially you see just a lot of people leaving your life. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? But it's like, I don't know. This sounds sad. So I'm
It's
like, but I'm
okay.
not trying to um get in the trance. But like, going through that is like, whenever you're an only child, you kind of you want to be the protector, and you're like trying to like grab people because you feel like you don't have people. And so whenever you grab, a hold of people, and then everybody starts leaving, it's like you develop trust issues, you develop like
Abandonment issues.
abandonment issues,
Hmm.
then you continually feel alone. And so like, it's like I care for so many people, but they end up leaving all the time. You know what I'm saying? And um like, I think that, you know since the beginning, even my mom, she helped me develop that same thing, because watch my mom, she cares and loves for people so much. And then, even though I grew up with, our family didn't grow up with a lot, I felt like I had a lot because I had my mom. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? And
Yes.
so
Literally.
that love and that empathy and compassion that I was getting from her, I was like, I don't need anything. I'm cool with, what I got. And
Hmm.
so yeah, whenever I see like other people like striving for materialistic things, or things that are all, external, I'm like, it doesn't make sense to me, because I'm like,
Because that's not fulfilling to you.
it's not. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, I mean, if we could all find fulfillment in each other, then it's like, you really don't have to rely on nothing else.
Hmm.
And so I think that that's what I love about even Generation Y, like the community of it, because like it's diverse in all ways. And so, and it always will. Anyways, so
I just want to run off.
but that was my friends. And
Yeah.
that's how it always should be. Like, you get your friends and stretch yourself, get out of your comfort zone, get out of the bubble that you developed, that is like, everybody looks like me, everybody talks like me, everybody blah 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 blah. And it's like, there's so many other beautiful people in the world.
Hmm.
And if we just seclude ourselves to, this one thing, then it's like, okay, cool. You're not universal now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You cap yourself off.
Hmm.
Like, and so I think that that's why I love the empathy and stuff that I was given from my mom, and compassion and everything, because I was like, that's opened me up to so many other people. And
Yes.
so yeah, I think, but the art of listening, I think that that's a talent in itself, because
Hmm.
communication, people think that, me just delivering
Talking. Yeah.
communication to you and being clear about that, that's just a one-way street.
Hmm.
But like, the art of listening is like, that's both communication, right? So it's always a give and take. So I gotta receive whatever you say as Alondra, and
Hmm.
understand your feelings, your emotion, where you come from, your state of mind that you're in currently, and then I gotta be able to know where to connect with that and all that kind of thing. So yeah, but the art of listening, I think that I've been really intentional since I started the organization of
That's good.
building what that looks like, and just that art in general. So, but yeah,
That's good. And it
yeah.
sounds like you started young. And I mean, from looking at the type of organization that you have, it sounds like you have to definitely be an empathetic listener. I mean, that's a lot of people's personal stories, a lot of weight coming at you guys.
Mm.
So I feel like
And
it
that's hard
was
sometimes to like,
to
hear
process.
all, yes, to process
I
that.
can't
So
imagine.
yeah.
That's why I'm like, I could never be a therapist because I'm gonna go
Mm.
home and probably cry it out every day.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm definitely super empathetic, but
Yeah.
I would say my empathetic listening skills didn't really start developing until like my mid 20s, if I'm being
Mm.
honest.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that I tarnished a lot of friendships and relationships in my past because of that. Because
Mm.
I can be empathetic and be understanding, but like sometimes I just wouldn't really hear a person out because of my own bias or
Mm.
because of the things that I'm going through or because of what I'm experiencing on the other end,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? So, but that's good.
So how'd you develop that?
How did I develop that? I
Yeah.
think I started seeing what I was losing. I was losing a lot of
Mm.
important people in my life because of my ego. I have a tattoo on my thigh that says like less ego, more love.
Mm.
Um, and I think that it was time for me to like change that around
Yeah.
and understand that not everything's about me.
Yeah.
And that my feelings do matter too, but also like it, and for me to understand and put somebody else's feelings as a priority doesn't mean that I have to neglect my own.
Right, right, right.
And so it was. I think it was more so like a defensive mechanism from
Mm.
my childhood and stuff. But and so when it came to adulthood, I was always like, well, me,
Right,
like,
right, right.
me. So
Yeah.
I had to work on that. I want to foster a really good environment in my home with my relationship,
Mm.
and when I have kids, I want to do the same. So I feel like I have
Yeah.
to like turn it around now. Like
Yeah.
I have to unlearn and relearn things now for that to be a good thing when I have kids. I
Mm.
don't want to have kids and be like, well, I didn't know, and you know.
Right, right, right.
So, but yeah. So
And that's a hard balance. I mean, like some people like go through life kind of like I want to achieve this one. So like I had this I'm gonna say friend. So but we we were having a conversation and um so it started to get about race, right? So I'm gonna say this the race part of it, which is mind blowing to me to hear these things. So but it was this she was like she was white for sure, you could definitely tell, right? And she was trying to tell me and saying like, well, I made it out the hood. Well, no, it is the hood where she was from. Okay, so but she was like, I made it out the hood and I made something of myself, and I don't understand why minorities can do the same. And I was like, so you moved out of the hood and made something out of yourself. So you changed your environment, but still look the same. But for somebody else, they have to carry what is already judged just from the cards that were being dealt of them coming into the world. So they have to change their environment, but then also change everything that they were born with. And then like it was a back and forth argument for a long time. And then I was like, but you get to change that. You get to change that part of you. There's some things that people cannot change, and they're still going to get like they have to start from ground zero. You know what I'm saying? And still build up even if they get to change a location. And I'm like, you got to have the type of empathetic heart towards somebody to be able to realize like what they come from is what they come from, but who they are, they still have to they can't they can't change that. And so by the end of the conversation, she was like, oh, okay, I kind of get that. But it's like it had to change that mindset in her, even though she came from the same location, but the location doesn't change the position that you're in, right? And so yeah, I mean, like I think that there's a lot of people that they have the right idea of what caring for somebody looks like, but like the walking it out and how to verbalize it, and then also the understanding. That's why I think that understanding is the deepest form of love, because like it takes a lot more to go out of your way to understand where Alondra came from, where Alondra is, and where Alondra's going. So it's like I have to put myself in three different parts of who you are to actually understand the full you. Like a lot of people will come up to you and be like, "I love you now because I think your music's great. You look so cool, blah blah." But
what got me here?
Exactly. A lot of people, and then even the same thing, like for because I picked up biking a lot whenever I was
like bicycle or like vroom vroom.
No, bicycle. Okay, I'm not that cool yet. But yeah, in 2020, like that was my outlet. Aside from writing music and stuff like that, but I was biking like every day, and I would see these people like booking it, right? And these old paper thin, probably weighs the same as a bird, old people with like a paper thin bike just blazing down, and I'm like, okay, and I'm over here just trucking.
Did you have like a bulky bike?
I mean, yeah, kind of, yeah.
Well, one day you'll get to the paperweight.
Thank you. Yeah,
the weight, not the paperweight. The
I don't
light.
got money like that.
Yeah,
though,
those are
so
expensive.
I need to get Alondra money.
No.
So. Yes.
Well, just working and no kids and no kids, just
right,
two dogs.
Right. But like that was my outlet. And then while I'm thinking in my mind, like I'm a creator, and creative, so like I'm always thinking of random
something
things.
creative, yeah.
Right. So as I'm biking, I'm thinking like their perspective, right? So I'm like, if they're blazing past me, they're like, dang, this person, sucks at riding bike or has never done that.
Comparing.
Exactly, the comparing. But I compare from somebody else's point of view. Is that weird? That's weird, right?
No, I do that too.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Like sometimes I look at other artists, I'm like, they're probably looking at me like, this girl don't even.
Yeah.
but are they even
Yeah.
thinking that, or is it just self-sabotage?
Yeah,
Like,
it is self-sabotage. That's what it
yeah.
is. Yeah. But I was thinking about that. So I'm like, they don't know, for one, my elements that I have or don't have, right?
Mhm.
And then I'm thinking like, but I'm doing better than somebody that, you know, doesn't have a bike or that's just running or just walking or whatever. It's like that's where the gratitude always comes in. And then also that person's not seeing how far I've
Yeah,
ridden
well, how much
already.
work it took, yeah, to get
Yeah,
to where you're
like
at
I'm
now.
almost done with my
They're
ride.
probably not even thinking that. Like, it's
Exactly.
just you.
Exactly. But like, in that perspective is like you're trying to see where people are coming from. So anyway, but yeah, so
I love that. I
yeah,
love that.
it's all perspective.
Well, you talked about that. That's good. Okay, so
It's still blowing my mind you have cars. That's so dope.
yes. Hold on. Let me.
Yeah.
The camera's not is not focusing, but we got cards
Out of the trance.
out of the
Cars.
trance.
Wow.
It's a new logo. It's a new rebrand.
That's fire.
So I have a
Is the
random.
logo on your fingernails?
Oh no, this is from my
Oh
last
wow.
single.
That's dope.
The album art.
What
for
did
the
it
single.
say?
NDA.
You're moving it a lot, so I
Oh,
gotta see
NDA.
it.
NDA.
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 Okay.
Yeah. Listen to the song. Stream it on all
Yeah, I already
platforms.
did. So
A music video
you
is gonna
should.
be filmed next week for it. So yeah, I'm excited. That's why I got
Wow.
them done, cause
Music video.
music video.
Vibes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go.
So random question about mental health. You
Okay.
ready?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see how well informed you are.
That's fine. If I don't get it right, I'm cool with
If you
being
don't,
wrong.
yeah, if you don't get it right, it's
Ooh, that's a
okay.
bar.
Yeah.
If I don't get it right, I'm okay with being wrong.
Write it down. Write it down. So, how many people? And I'm gonna give you choices, so don't
Okay.
feel like you're gonna be like guessing.
Okay.
So, how many people say they have experienced mental health? Damn, I can't even talk. Rewind. How many people say they have experienced mental health stigma? 1 in 3.
How many?
Yeah. Is
Oh,
it 1
okay.
in 3, 3 and 4, or 6 and 8?
I say 1 and 3.
1 and 3.
What is it?
I'll put the sound effect. It's 3 and 4.
3 and 4?
That's a lot of people.
That is a lot of people. Wow.
What percentage is that? 90? No, that's not 90.
Yeah.
I can't math.
3 to 4?
Let's scratch that. 3 and
I
4.
don't know. I'm terrible. I'm terrible at math
Yeah,
too.
I'm so bad with math.
That's
Oh
okay.
my God.
Things just don't add up for us.
So
Hey.
oh my God,
I got
another
these
one.
one-liners, dude.
Another one.
Yeah.
So to wrap this up, I have some questions about positive habits.
Okay.
So I only got like 2 questions about that. So
Okay.
so
Yeah.
what bad habits have you been able to like transform into good habits that have stuck with you now every day, that you could say maybe in your early 20s you weren't doing and that you wish you were doing? What do they look like for you?
Actually verbalizing fully like what I'm feeling, needing, or not receiving, cause
Sorry, that was one of mine too.
yeah, cause the things that one of my old friends used to say that closed mouths don't get fed. So those that type of vibe, and like I try to be like and am a humble person. So like there's a lot of, like you were saying, the self sabotaging stuff. My self sabotaging is not communicating. So like I'll close off and just seclude myself, and those habits I had to stop doing, and then that's what's been able to help me have better conversations, better relationships, and then also like it even helped obviously with me and my wife. Like now she's coming from a life and home background that is completely different than mine too. So it's like we've had to overcome a lot of trauma, and unpack that and what that is, what that looks like, and then to fully be able to just communicate. Those are the things that I've been having to learn and then break as well. So yeah, learning boundaries, knowing myself, and then knowing my limits, and
Yes.
yeah, and then knowing to say no, because I need to stop just saying yes to everything.
Literally.
Yeah. You be doing that too?
Yeah, I mean, I used to.
Yeah.
Remember we talked about it, and I like gave myself like
Yes.
my own handshake
Yeah,
boundaries.
you did.
Yeah,
Gave your
saying
own.
no, saying no. That was like my first podcast episode, I think.
For
Ever.
real, you talking
Yeah,
about saying no?
saying no.
Yeah.
And I read a book. It was called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think it was like chapter 8 or 9 that said the art of saying no, something like that. And like when I read the chapter, I actually cried, and it's crazy to cry with a self help book.
Why is that crazy? That's not
Well,
crazy.
sorry, it was crazy to me because
yeah.
I'm projecting.
Yeah, yeah.
It was crazy to me because I never experienced that. I've cried with fiction books and romance ones, but
Right.
I think I cried because I felt attacked.
Mm.
That's a
You
good
felt
person.
I felt attacked.
I felt attacked.
I felt scared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
No, that's real.
but no, it was just real, and I needed to open my eyes. I think that was detrimental to me, not being able to say no. So yeah. And you said, what was the first one you said?
Boundaries.
No, it was about opening up when you needed to, like like vocalizing what you need.
Fed. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's so important with relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Like in my first marriage or my only marriage, I
Mm-hmm.
never really vocalized a whole lot of things, and then I would let it like build up,
Yeah.
and then boom, like it was like an atomic bomb.
That's when you yell.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it was more like she would say something, and I'd be like,
It piss you off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like now, I'm like in the healthiest relationship I've ever been in, and like we are.
Congrats.
Thank you.
That's
We're
dope.
both so quick to just be like, so how do you feel about that? Do you want to talk about it? And it's just a healthy environment. We foster that mutual communication, and like I don't ever foresee us like letting it build up and then having that, oh, why didn't you ever tell me? So because the two of us have been in relationships in the past where we didn't prioritize our needs, we didn't have healthy habits, and so now we made that pact. We're like, we got to keep these healthy habits like all the time as much as we can to have a healthy and successful relationship. So
that's good.
So
Congrats. That's dope.
Yeah.
Everybody deserves that. You know what I'm saying? Like you deserve the best, and also you deserve the best from somebody, but you also deserve the best for yourself.
Yes.
So it's like you that's been the biggest thing for me, and I'm still learning. I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but I'm those are things that we're always on process to. So yeah, that's what it is.
So first and foremost, Jordan.
Yeah.
I don't think
I thought you said you had 2 questions.
Oh yeah. Thank you. Last question. What goals do you have for yourself?
Myself?
Yourself. Yeah.
Oh, me personally.
You personally.
Being present with my family. That's
wow.
it. Yeah.
That could mean a lot of things.
Exactly.
I love that.
In all situations, because I just want to, whenever I mean, obviously I went through a divorce, so whenever I'm really understanding that, like, I only have half of a year with my son, that crushes me, for one.
What do you mean by that?
Like, we get him every other week, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was something crazy. I was like, what do you
No.
mean?
Yeah, so, and that's what I calculated up in my brain. So if that's probably wrong,
probably a good way to look at it, so that you like feel more like intentional. Yeah.
That's been the biggest thing, and how I show love too is time, and so I give you, my full attention. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be known for being an intentional person. And my grandpa passed a couple years ago, and he was a big, figure in my life that I looked up to. Even though he lived in Texas, to all you Texicans, right? He was, super dope. But like whenever his funeral happened, like there was tons of people there, and I was like, this dude is like super old. He was older, so I was like, he didn't do social media. How does he know all these people? You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, that's
probably very intentional.
Exactly. That's what I'm.
Relationship you have.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like that impact. Your impact is gonna come from your intentionality with people. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what I want to be known for. Is like, I mean, I cared about people well. That's what I want to be known for.
Good.
That's the goal.
I feel like that's also a goal of mine right now, as far as like reeling things in and just being more intentional with the time I spend with the people I care about. I feel like I've been too saturated with, everything that I'm doing, the podcast, the music, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and I feel like I'm on the go a lot and I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
slow down. So that's definitely a really good goal to have, and I think I'm gonna keep it for myself too.
Good.
But anyways,
It'll help you get out of the trance.
so this now concludes this episode with Jordan Miller. So, would you like to plug yourself in?
Yeah, you can follow me on anything and everything. I am Jordan Miller, all one word. And then you can follow the organization page as well, Generation Y, WHY, but it is at GNWY.co. So,
Yes, sir. Thank you for coming. Thank you for giving me all your wisdom. And I hope this isn't the last time that we do something together
yeah.
collaboratively. Is that a word? Collaborative? It doesn't
Cl-
matter. English is not my first language, so that's my excuse for life.
You're a
I
lot
don't
better
care.
than
I
me.
don't care
So,
how long I'm gonna be in America. I'm gonna always use that excuse when I can't pronounce a word.
perfect.
But
Yeah.
anyways, all his socials and Generation Y socials are gonna be in the description of the YouTube video. So please go look for that. Again, thank you for coming, and
Thank
thank you
you.
guys for tuning in.
Thank you.